Welcome to The Bond. The Bond is about forming deeper customer connections in marketing and sales. In snack-sized episodes, we'll help leaders to realize their ambitions with greater customer relevance, authenticity, and capability. You'll gain insights about how to build a deeper customer connections and grow in today's hyper-competitive markets. Hi, Stu. Welcome back to The Bond.
Great to see you, Em. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. We've got a great episode today. We're going to be talking about creating a marketing strategy from scratch. So, a marketing strategy, when we talk about this, is the path that's chosen to achieve specific business goals. And we know that marketing strategies are a blend of customer insight, creativity, and analytics. And today we're going to be covering why a marketing strategy matters, what makes a great marketing strategy, and how to go about creating one. And we're going to unpack things like goal setting, understanding the customer through segments, insights, and personas. We'll talk about business insights and SWOT analysis, the marketing strategy itself, measurement, and ROI. So there's a bit to get through today. So, Stu, why does having a marketing strategy matter?
It's a good question. It's central to marketing and sales success. Ultimately, this really matters, right? Strategic marketing makes a huge difference to businesses. As you said at the beginning, this is the pathway that we choose to navigate towards the achievement of our business goals. But I'm going to say two things at the outset. One is that the scope of a marketing strategy can vary enormously depending upon the type of organization you are. For example, it might get into pricing strategy, how we expand our product and service range or rationalize it or whatever we're doing. What's the product strategy, and also distribution strategy. How are we going to sell? Where are we going to sell to our customers? So,
Yes.
But today we're going to focus mainly on the promotional aspects of this, how we attract and convert more customers for our business. The second point I want to make is that what we often observe when we go into a client's business that doesn't currently have a solid marketing strategy or a strategic approach to their marketing is that things can be a little confused, and it won't be purposeful, and there's probably not a great measurement of the outcome. So, all business leaders know that marketing matters. It's bubbling away inside there. Most that aren't doing it that way don't know where to start. So, that's what this is about. Let's help people get started.
And it's also important to add here that the marketing strategy is not the marketing plan. We'll probably talk about that in future episodes, but it's a vital document that directs the construction of the marketing plan. But the marketing plan is the who, does, what, when. We're talking about the strategy and the ideas to get there.
Yeah, think about it as a synthesis of effective ideas.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, I want to talk about goal setting now. So to help us shape this marketing strategy, there are two goals that we need to understand. We've got the business goals and then the marketing goals. We find the more focused that the business goal can be, the clearer we can then be about setting the marketing goals. So an example here is if the business goal is that we want to achieve 10% growth in online sales, then this would translate into a marketing goal of we need 10,000 more website visits, 1,000 more leads, and 200 new customers.
Yeah, that's right. So we need to understand some of the historical data that exists in the business. And use that as a guide, because what we're talking about here is conversion. Okay, so there's certain points that we can measure that lead up to a sale, and one of them will be maybe a visit to our website or store or whatever it is. The second might be them expressing their interest or by registering as a lead. Another might be the recognition of that customer becoming an opportunity that's engaged directly in a sales conversation and then ultimately becoming a customer. The conversion points and conversion rates vary depending upon industry, level of competitiveness, all sorts of things. But when we get a good handle on them, we can then do the math and get a really clear line between if we want this many sales, we need this many leads. We work back up through the pipe.
Yes. I'd love to talk to you now about what makes a great marketing strategy. And before you answer, I'm going to jump in with my 2 cents first.
Let me go.
And
Let me go.
exactly. And it's probably going to become no surprise to our listeners that we believe the most effective strategies are customer-centric.
Mm-hmm.
They focus on that intersection of customer behavior and also key business
Yeah,
strengths.
we kept talking about that.
We do. What do you think makes a great marketing strategy, Stu?
Well, the great marketing strategy unlocks value by harnessing a deep understanding of customers, and it works from a clearly articulated brand strategy as well. So we really understand the role we're playing in the life and times of the customer. It's also really important to keep it simple. So businesses, no matter what their size, but certainly small to medium businesses, have limited resources, limited numbers of people to do things, and limited amounts of money to spend on attracting new business. So it's really easy to come up with a marketing strategy that's chock full of cool ideas. I think we've all seen some of that, right? It's a big idea that never gets executed.
Yeah.
So what's really vital is that this is actually achievable, and this can be turned into a plan that will happen on time and on budget.
Yeah, absolutely. So rooted in this great marketing strategy is customer research and understanding. And most small to medium businesses know their customers very well. We've talked about this in a previous episode around targeted marketing, but what we're wanting to understand of our customers is who they are, what they need, and how they buy. It's worth making the point here that what can develop is a transactional view of the customer. For example, from salespeople, we can often see that their focus is on the process of buying, and that we can understand customer objections or price sensitivity. These aren't the things that we're particularly focusing on here. We want to know about customer value and focus our marketing strategy around that side of things, what our customer sees in our offer.
The opinions and providing support to salespeople to do their job most effectively is really part of the marketing function. We should be doing that, right? But it's necessary but not sufficient. We need to be focused on areas higher up the funnel than the negotiation and the objections that come through that. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at what's going on in their lives. What problems are they trying to solve? What are their needs and desires, and how they go about deciding what they buy and who they buy it from. So the answers come from all sorts of things. They can be industry-wide data. It can be discussions with the salespeople as we've just mentioned, and it can come from customer service and the kinds of questions that we're getting most within the business that help us to understand what people's needs really are.
Terrific. And then we refine all of that valuable information into customer segments and insights. So we develop, manageable chunks that can then be used within the marketing strategy.
Yeah, where do we focus our resources?
Absolutely, yes, because not only from an efficiency point of view, but also from a relevance point of view, it's going to resonate more effectively with those target market segments.
Right on.
So we develop our market segments and also our target personas, which we touched on previously. And I'd love to talk here, importantly, just around customer insights, because this does play a valuable part in the marketing strategy. And customer insights are that distillation of facts and clues about a customer that elicits, once we've got it right, elicits that nodding of the head because it summarizes that customer so well.
Yeah, that's right. It's insights can operate at a category level or an individual brand or even a product level, and they're this sort of universal truth. And as you say, if we get it right, people nod their heads. It will normally include something rational, but the high point is when that we are really getting to what's driving people emotionally. That's the holy grail that we're aiming for.
So we've talked about the customer. I'd love to now flip over to talking about the business analysis and insights. And, one great way of doing this is through a SWOT analysis. So the SWOT is defining the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that the business faces. Are there any other methods that you would like to talk to here, Stu, about, business analysis?
I like to look at this through the lens of what are the key business strengths that we can capitalize on? What are the opportunities that come out of those strengths and the external factors available to us, market growth, emerging customer segment, whatever it might be? What risks are there? And what barriers do we have to success that we've got to fix in order to make this strategy work?
Terrific. Now, with all of that, we can get onto creating the marketing strategy and define the best potential paths that are open to the business to achieve our goals. We know the customer, we know about the business strengths and the opportunities in front of us, and we also know what we need to change in order to succeed. So, Stu, how do we do it? Where do we start?
All right, so we spoke about before about the need to be keeping it simple. We typically make sure that we're coming up with a list of headlines that's sort of between 4 or 5, perhaps 8 at the outside, depending upon the size of the organisation, resources we have available, etc. But it's really important here to, again, focus on making this an achievable document. So we identify a strategy could be attract more leads. It could be grow a particular category within the business. It might be to automate parts of our business operation. And it might even be, we can even bring people into this too. It might even be the development of certain marketing skills within our team, because it's really powerful actually to make your people part of your strategy.
Absolutely. So they're quite big headlines, these, these big core strategies, and then underpinning them are sort of finer detail points, aren't there?
Yes. I mentioned a strategy a second ago, attract more leads. So that's going to contain, there's many ways that we can do that. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to really carefully choose the most effective and efficient way of achieving that outcome, right? We want to attract more leads. It means that we need to grow from this many leads attracted last year to X many attracted next year. And there's going to be different ways of doing that. So again, what are the efficient ways of attracting more visitors to the website and converting them into captured leads? We will then look at the channels that we use, the type of messaging that we use. All of these are designed to not just create a shopping list of possible stuff to do. It's like what we believe will be the most effective way of doing that. And measurability comes into this too, because today in marketing, most things can be measured, but not everything. But the reality is you manage what you measure. So it's a fact of modern marketing life that if it can't be measured, it's probably not a great idea.
Yeah, and the power of today's measurement tools is really unbelievable.
It blows my mind,
Me too. High-level examples of what we now measure in our marketing campaigns based on a strategy are things like, understanding what's working, what's not, what channels and activities are attributing to the results that we're seeing. But that's from a macro level, but from a more detailed perspective, we can drill our reporting all the way down to return on investment at the individual level. So how much does one lead cost us? How much does that cost us for them to convert into becoming a customer? And then how much do those customers then start spending from the moment that we've captured them as a marketing lead and nurtured them as a customer?
It's fantastic. And all the content-driven attribution. What was causing that customer to become a lead in the first place, and what caused them to become a customer down the bottom of the funnel.
Absolutely, because when we talk about continuous improvement, it's so important for us to know that, so that we know what to dial, what works, and what can we amplify and dial up, and what hasn't worked so well. So what can we think about winding back or having another go at if it didn't work in the first place.
Yeah.
Terrific. So with all of that done, we end up with an amazing marketing strategy that everyone in the business can be really proud of. And a great marketing strategy can be a foundation, not only for focused business growth, but ultimately for customer satisfaction and also employee engagement. But it really is just the start.
There's so much more, execution is vital, but that's the next step, and it's another story.
It is. Well, thank you for joining me today, Stu. And thanks everyone for listening to The Bond.
See ya. Point & Consulting is a marketing and sales consultancy based in Sydney, Australia. We help ambitious businesses to unlock customer value by transforming their marketing and sales, from strategy to process, execution and automation. We like to help good people do better.